at this point that there are definitely people that are single by choice, especially people that you deem as fine. Some of us really do not want to be bothered. So when I make content discussing my singlehood and my single life, a lot of y'all hear that and say, that means let me DM her right now. That's not what it means, because I said I was single. I never said I was desperate, baby. I don't even give off the type of vibes that I just accept any and every woman that just be DMing me and come over here bothering me and being in my business. If so, let me know so I can switch up my flow and change it. And I need you to be fine, don't get me wrong, but it's not always about the looks that I'm turning people down. Even if you fine and I went to that page and I seen how you was talking, I really listened to you, really connected with what you was saying, and I didn't like it one bit, a no is still a no. So it was never gonna be you. I'm single, I'm not desperate. And whoever said I needed help finding love on the internet to begin with? Who said that? I very much don't have problems finding a woman that I want, that want me. I definitely take auditions when I feel like taking auditions from a fine woman that treat me right. And I'm currently taking auditions. So I appreciate the thoughts, prayers, sorrows, I guess. I'm single very much by choice and not desperate in any way, shape, or form.
Somebody who is single by choice. I find it funny how people always take being single as some kind of problem. Like, oh, you just can't get a relationship. Like, no, I choose not to be in a relationship. Especially because, like, it's always coming from the people who have to be in a relationship 24/7 to feel any kind of self-worth. Like, I'm not that type of person. Like, I don't need to be in a relationship. I don't need to have a partner to feel valued in myself. Like, I think it's because so many people fear being old and single. I don't. That is not a fear I have. Like, if it happens, it happens. That's just how life works. Like, not everybody who is single because they can't get in a relationship. Like, I could easily get in a relationship. It would be no problem. I just personally think your 20s are not meant to be in relationships. Like, I think your 20s are for you to grow and learn about yourself. Not for that. Like, you know, I've just seen too many people constantly go from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship that I was just like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be one of those people. I don't want to be one of those people who's dating somebody and not really even into them, but they don't want to break up because they don't want to be single. I am completely fine being single.
I say I'm single by choice. I am not saying that I'm choosing to be lonely. Who the hell would choose to be lonely? I'm saying I'm choosing not to put up with the shit y'all put up with just to say you're in a relationship. Clock that T.
So I have been getting questions in my inbox about why I decided to become a single mom by choice and what is her ethnicity. So first, why I became a single mom by choice. I already have a 13-year-old son. Once I had him, I was like, you know, we're good. I'm good with just me and him. But in 2020, I actually was in a relationship or situationship, something. And I became pregnant with my second son. Unfortunately, January 2021, I lost him due to incompetent cervix, and my water broke. So after that, I really just was like, okay, I really wanted another child. But my relationship ended. And so I decided that, you know, being that I turned 40 and last year and no prospects at that time of a relationship or anything or marriage or anything like that, I decided I'm going to do this on my own. So that's exactly what I did. I actually went through 3 rounds of IUI because my insurance covered it, but they didn't work. So I went through IVF to conceive her. As I don't know where this top is, as far as her ethnicity, I wanted an African American donor. However, it was like trying to find a needle in a haystack. There's not that many. And then on top of that, after all the testing, Lord, we cannot keep socks. After all the testing that I did for IVF, I ended up being CMV negative. I'm not really sure what it is, but I wasn't exposed to it, or I hadn't been exposed to it. So I had to choose a CMV negative donor. With that being said, that made the search even smaller. So her donor is actually Arabian, Lebanese, in that genre. So her donor is kind of olive skin tone. So I figured with my melanin, his olive skin tone, she would get a little color to her, maybe later on, but right now she is light skinned, and it's fine. I'm gonna love her either way, so that is why I became a single mom by choice. And
shows that by 2030, 45% of working women ages 25 to 45 will be non-married, no kids. And you might say, well, what's wrong with that? If you think that you're going to be 45 years old, no kids, not married, and that you're going to genuinely be fulfilled in life because you made money.
So who's going to tell him? Who's going to tell him that a lot more women are embracing the rich auntie lifestyle because they're tired of men and their weaponized incompetence? I know some men think that it should be the honor of your life to marry them and take care of them like a child, cook for them, clean for them, do the laundry, all of that, take care of them and their offspring. That's the honor of your life. That's the reason you were created. Like, now your life has meaning. It's all projection. They're the ones who are afraid of growing old and dying alone. But they'll try to tell you that, no, that's what you're afraid of. How could you possibly be happy with all that money? To travel, to see the world with? It's not like, as a single woman, she still couldn't entertain a man if she wants. She doesn't have to marry one. She doesn't have to have a kid with one. She can just entertain one, go on some random dates if that's what she wants. Like, we realize that with the marriage comes a lot of responsibility for her. She is expected to do so much. And a lot of these women these days would rather take on 100% of the financial responsibility, 100% of the domestic skills in a house, rather than do it for you and get nothing in return for it, because you still want her to pay bills. So she's single, in her 30s or 40s, unmarried, child-free, with lots and lots of money to do whatever she wants to do with, nobody to answer to, no responsibilities to anyone except herself. It kind of sounds like you're threatening these women with a good time to me.
A lot of people would not understand this philosophy, but fuck it. I'm gonna say it anyway. I'm not gonna just be with anybody on a romantic level for the sake of love. Love is truly the bare minimum when you love yourself. Over here, we look at character. We smell your aura. We pay attention to your energy signature. Are you a liability or an asset? Are you adding value or you subtracting? We pay attention to all that. Because what does love got to do with it? I love everybody, but I ain't going to spend majority of my time with you.
Do y'all mean to tell me that a healthy, happy woman will willingly choose to spend the rest of her life by herself? Like, is that what we're saying?
That is precisely what we are saying. Why is it so hard to believe that a woman who is healthy and happy cannot be healthy and happy by herself? Just because you might not want to stay by yourself, that's perfectly okay. But some women are fine with being alone. Maybe if we drop in some statistics, you will be able to visualize why. Married men saw the biggest drop in mortality rates, with research pointing out that men who are tied down are less likely to take risks and get into accident or consume alcohol and drugs. Bad news for women, though, as the deep dive into the data revealed their mortality benefited less if they were married. Women are dying younger married to a man versus if they stayed single and child-free. Let me reiterate, single and child-free, because I know you're going to come back with the argument that somehow we're encouraging single motherhood, and that's never the case. Single, child-free women are happier and tend to live longer lives, because in this economy, as much as women like to talk about having a provider and stuff like that, most women will not be kept women. That's simply the facts. Based on the economics and how much men make a year and what is required to sustain a family, most men cannot sustain a household by their own. So most women work. And even with most women working, most women also still do a majority of the housework. Even if you have a spouse or a husband who is willing to do the work or willing to do some house labor, women tend to take on way more, especially when it comes to child rearing. So why is it so hard to fathom that with everything that comes with a marriage, that women would be happier just being by themselves? Some people don't want a man just for the sake of saying, I got a man. I got a man. Some women only want to have a man just to be able to say they have a man like it's a trophy. I'm sorry that you don't like you enough to be by yourself. And just because someone isn't in a relationship doesn't mean they're lonely. Time and time again, women have stated we have other relationships outside of a husband. Women have very strong friendships aside from men, versus men that get old and alone and don't have friends. Women tend to still have friends. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what? I just don't understand why you can't believe that.
One of the things that I hear a lot from people in regards to women who choose to be single is that somehow we are bitter or traumatized and we've been hurt before, and that's why we've decided to be single. You know what? That may be the case for some women. Some women have decided that, you know what, I'm going to take myself out the game because this is just too much for me. But in my experience, both personally and professionally, a lot of women are choosing to be single because of the fact that they are much healthier and happier with themselves. The thing that I hate most about, this whole idea that, choosing to be single is because of some sort of hurt or trauma, it makes me feel like people are still buying into this idea that the default position for women is to be partnered, that's what we were supposed to do, and your life is not complete unless you have, fulfilled that. As we're seeing, more and more people are deciding to either prolong or forego marriage and children altogether and are doing fine. We're actually thriving. And people are now realizing, oh, so maybe this marriage and kids thing isn't the only way. For some people, that can feel really scary. That can feel really intimidating because that means they'd have to question their own value system, the things that they believe about what a good life is supposed to be. In my, experience, a lot of single women who choose to be single are doing so because they like themselves more as single people, they have a better quality of life as single people, and they really want to focus on building other relationships outside of the romantic context in order to have a more fulfilling life. And I have to say this, historically, romantic partnerships, marriages are really, really based around women's labor. And I know some people are going to get mad at me for saying that, but a lot of success in the cis hetero relationships that I've seen is based on how much a woman is willing to sacrifice in order to make the relationship work. Guess what? A lot of women ain't trying to do that. They understand that the costs really are not aligned with the benefits, and so they are choosing themselves. And I applaud those who are making that choice. It takes a lot of courage and humility to look at yourself and and be able to say, you know what, all these societal norms don't really work for me. I'm going to choose something different. For those who are threatened by that or who don't understand that, I really want to encourage you to sit with that discomfort and think about what that is. What is making you so uncomfortable about someone else's life choice that is working for them? Is that somehow making you question yours?
It means risking being misunderstood, perceived as alone and broken, having no one to focus on, fall into or hide behind, and having to be my own support and having to stretch and find family and love and connection outside of the traditional places. That's something that I want to do. I want to be the brave me, the one whose life is my own. Also means that I'm going to have to break an agreement that I didn't really officially agree to sign in the first place, a little document that was drawn up by a bunch of old white guys in a back room, the same group of white guys in that back room that passed laws about our reproductive health and choices without us being there. And that agreement says that we are here to be of service to others, that our destiny as women is to live in the shadow of men, that we are simply objects of desire, and that we are willing to have our voices stifled again and again by the misogyny of our culture. Well, listen here, ladies. I'm tearing it up.